Can you tell us a little about your background?
Certainly, yeah. I started working at a company called Berghaus, which was at the time privately owned. It was a world-class clothing manufacturing company based in Newcastle upon Tyne. It was dynamic, it was exciting, highly supportive company where the owners stepped back and let the management team just get on and drive and grow its success. From there, I went on to relaunch the Cragghubber brand and started with pretty much a blank piece of paper. And we built a highly successful clothing brand for taking the opportunity to go off and start Go Outdoors retail company. And I created its strategy, its operations and its marketing through to arranging its original funding that got it to expand into a big retail group. So after about 12 years in the outdoor trade, I became an independent strategy consultant, working with a wide range of companies, really developing people, their programs, helping support companies grow and develop what they're about. And I've been doing that for the past 25 years. So I've got a range of leaders I regularly support through mentoring, and our relationship often starts where something critical happens in their business. And what I try to do is understand what that need's going to look like. And I develop a process with them to help support them go through that difficult challenge. And that process of thinking through and developing things has developed into long-term relationships with them.
What is the role of mentoring in developing leaders?
Mentoring helps leaders grow through reflection, guidance, challenge, and shared experience. Mentoring gives leaders a safe space for them to test their thinking, build confidence, learn from real situations, and develop judgment beyond what we call formal training. So effective mentoring is not about giving answers. It's really about helping leaders ask better questions, see wider perspectives, and above all, take ownership for their own development. The strongest relationships in mentoring are built upon trust, clarity, regular communication, and getting mutual commitment from people. So both the mentor and the mentee should understand the purpose of what they're trying to achieve in that relationship, agree expectations, and prepare for each conversation. A mentor should really actively listen and offer honest feedback, share relevant experience, and encourage a mentee to make decisions rather than becoming dependent on just the advice they've been given. So mentoring supports leaders through their thinking process, providing a safe space to think through and discuss their options and opportunities, outcomes and consequences. That creates more confidence in decision making and at the same time supports the growth as a leader.
So how should a mentor balance support and challenge?
Leaders need encouragement, but they also need constructive challenge. A mentor can support by listening, recognizing progress, and helping a mentee build confidence. Good mentoring challenges mentee thinking by asking deeper questions, testing assumptions, and offering alternative viewpoints, as well as encouraging action. The balance is important. Too much support without challenge often limits growth, but not encouraging people to stretch themselves, while too much challenge without support reduces trust and creates a defensive mindset. So good mentoring requires developing a strong relationship where that balance between support and challenge is clear and respected. Mentoring involves reflection of actions and outcomes. So a mentee should see how they respond to a mentor's support and the challenges they're put in front of them to understand why that mentor suggested those actions in developing them.
How can mentoring support leadership growth?
Mentoring by an independent mentor enables leaders to think through not only their role, but also how they're leading people. For leaders to grow, developing a more inclusive leadership skill set is vital in today's workplace. Getting the most out of everyone in a team is essential. And as the most recent global workforce report identified, over 75% of companies are experiencing turnover of high potential employees, with over 40% of those people leaving that sector altogether. So the cost of leaders not supporting and developing talent is becoming a tangible loss in today's workplace. That means leaders must learn to develop all their people if they're to grow and success as a leader. And mentoring is critical to this because it helps make people think about being inclusive and encourage them to listen to different perspectives within the team, reflect on blind spots, and consider how their affections impact on others across their company. So mentoring also asks leaders to examine whose voices are being heard, whose contributions are being overlooked. And that's important in creating more equitable opportunity for participation in development. This holistic mentoring approach, which is really popular today, helps leaders see the whole talent pool and not just the transparent parts of it.
Lastly, how should progress be measured in a mentoring relationship?
Mentoring progress should be measured through metrics such as behavioural change, to start with, building of confidence and the development of people in that respect, decision quality, feedback from others, and of course successful outcomes achieved. So that's a really good, important place to start from. I always recommend when we start mentoring that we set an initial set of goals to think about where we want to take somebody and where they want to grow. And during sessions, we should review those, look at how they're changing, look at how they're developing, what's been learned, what remains that's yet to be dealt with, and look at how we can develop that mentee into the next phase of what they're doing. So mentoring really is a long-term support program, but with some short-term wins that you need to see the improvement and growth happening from somebody. And those milestones are really the signs of success that mentoring is helping support somebody, and you've got a good pairing of what's going on. Mentoring is a bit like my life in mountaineering. You start by looking at a huge daunting challenge of climbing a mountain, and then you create some small milestones, like let's get to this viewpoint, let's get to that cairn, let's get to that view, and from there you build and build until suddenly you reach the summit and you can see everything around you. And then of course what you're going to do is find the next mountain to climb.